Hello and welcome back to F1 Analyzes. Today I have a special guest, Evan Vilar. He doesn't know too much about F1, so it should be pretty interesting.
Yeah, I'm relatively new. I mean, I first really only started watching it was last year when it was during senior week, so like early June 2023, and when you hosted everyone over to your house and you got donuts and stuff, and it was a good time. We watched the race.
Yeah, that was fun, making people get up at senior week at 6 in the morning to
Mm.
watch F1.
I mean, you got free food, so I'm gonna tag along no matter what.
Yeah. Do you have a favorite team or driver?
Not really, because I don't really do a lot of the viewing of it myself, like on my own. I won't really do it in my
Yeah,
free time. I'll do it because of you.
right.
But it's funny to make jokes because I know you really like Hamilton and you don't really like Red Bull. So it's
Okay,
really
yeah.
funny to make jokes about Red Bull and Verstappen because he's very, very good.
Yeah,
He's winning
that's
a lot.
a pretty consistent thing in my life that people like to do.
Oh yeah, for sure. Because I mean, I think a bunch of times when we were watching it one day, oh, you want a Red Bull? Like I'm stopping at highs or something.
Oh, yeah. Do you have like a least favorite? I don't know if
I'm not familiar with all of them enough. I don't think to have a least favorite.
that's fair. Today we're going to be talking about Kick Sauber, which has really only been a team for 1 year.
Yes, I was when I was reading about it, I saw that they changed names really recently.
hmm So it started as Alfa Romeo. In 1950, the very first Grand Prix ever for
Mm.
F1. Not first Grand Prix, but first F1 Grand Prix.
Mm.
Alfa Romeo was a part of that, and they actually won. And they also won the first F1 season.
It's cool where you're ahead at that point, right?
Yeah. I mean, it's pretty crazy actually. They won with Giuseppe Farina.
Oh, that's an awesome name.
That's the first F1 winner of a race
Giuseppe?
and the season.
You mean
Giuseppe.
business with that name. Yeah,
Yeah.
there's no joking around with Giuseppe.
No.
There's not.
They were like sporadically involved in F1 between 1950 and then 1987.
Mm.
And then they sort of like left for a little bit. The team Alfa Romeo was founded by Nicola Romeo. What was kind of weird is Enzo Ferrari, the
Mm.
founder of Ferrari,
Mm.
in 1929, like the Ferrari team was really Alfa Romeo brand. So
Because
that's how it started.
they're both Italian, right?
Yes,
Yeah, I
they are
remember when I
both
was doing
Italian.
a little bit of reading about or Kick Sauber off Romero. It says something about having like something like more interior of the car using Ferrari.
Yeah. Yes. The Alfa Romeo, Kick Sauber, they use Ferrari
That's what
engines.
I could have looked. Okay.
They haven't always, but they do now. And that's been for a little bit.
Has it been working for them, or is it better, or no?
Ferrari engines are sort of inconsistent, especially the past few years. They've had a lot of issues, but more recently they've seemed to. Well, actually, I can't even say that they've gotten it together because Charles Leclerc had engine issues literally last race.
Oh, that's bad.
Yeah, it's just like when they're good, but when they're
So
not,
they're inconsistent.
they're not.
Yeah. Okay.
So after it was Alfa Romeo, then it was called Sauber. Peter Sauber was an electrician, okay? And he just made a sports car one day.
As you do.
Yeah, and he made a team, which was a crazy thing to do.
Was he like rich? Like you could just make his own team, or no?
Probably.
Makes sense. Yeah.
I mean,
That's
I
super
would
expensive
think if
sport.
you just randomly make a sports car.
I can't just do like a Vilar F1 team.
Yeah, I'm not sitting here like, oh, let me just go make a sports car, you
That's
know?
fair. Yeah, that makes sense.
I feel like you need money to do that.
Mm-hmm.
And he had a partnership with Mercedes, so it was like Sauber Mercedes team, and they had a deal that they would join F1 together. But instead of joining F1 together, Mercedes like pulled out of that deal. I don't know, they were scared or something, scared of cats.
Yeah, like,
And then Sauber ended up joining still anyway in 1993.
and that's why we have the two different teams.
Yes.
Gotcha.
1993 with Red Bull, actually, was their partner with that.
Gotcha.
Sauber was a pretty good midfield team. Like they weren't top tier, but they did well for being a new team and just like being in the middle of the pack. So they had some success, but nothing too crazy. But they did have a lot of good drivers like go through their program. They had an academy, which they like brought up young drivers. They had like Michael Schumacher was in that. They had Sebastian Vettel, and they had Charles Leclerc.
Mm.
Very good people going through the
Can I get
program.
into a little fun fact I heard about Charles Leclerc?
Okay, yeah.
Okay. So he actually he owns 10% of a racehorse and he shares it with the San Antonio Spurs starting guard, Tony Parker. They both share a horse, and the horse is named Afghani. This is a picture of the horse right here. They share a racehorse.
What the heck?
So I mean, now he's not competing in like just F1. He also has different types of racing too.
He also has an ice cream shop.
Really?
Yeah, he just opened it.
What's it called?
I don't know, honestly.
That's right.
I can't remember. Kimi Räikkönen joined F1. He joined with Sauber,
Mm.
and that caused Red Bull to pull out of their deal with them. So then Red Bull was no longer a part of Sauber.
So they were about themselves at that point.
Yeah. Kimi Räikkönen was very young at the time. He was 21 when he joined F1.
What was the age restriction back then? Because I know they've been lowering it. They just did it to 17, right?
I don't know if there was an age restriction, but before you join F1, you have to get your super license. And yeah, it's called a super license.
Could you imagine getting pulled over and the cop is like super license and registration plate?
Okay, well, you're not getting pulled over on an
I
F1
know, but
track.
it'd be so funny. Like you just pull over like the clerk on a random like he's driving a normal car on the road.
Yeah.
License registration plate without a super license. Oh, you're good to go.
Yeah, so they have to get a super license, but it's the FIA's, like, they can choose to grant it or not.
Mhm.
So it's just dependent on that. After Max joined is when they incorporated you had to be 18,
Gotcha.
but they just changed it
They just
again
changed it,
anyway,
yeah,
so I don't even know. He signed when he was 21, and that was like pretty young, so people were kind of skeptical. But he scored points on his first race in F1, so that was pretty good. And he's driven since then for McLaren, Lotus, Alfa Romeo when it like changed again. And then he won the world championship in 2007 with Ferrari.
Good for him.
Yeah. Red Bull has like a baby team, sort of, with RB.
Yeah.
Where it's like the drivers that are in RB, their end goal is to end up at Red Bull. And it's sort of the same with Williams and Mercedes.
Gotcha.
I also would argue that it's sort of the same with Alfa Romeo,
And
Sauber,
Ferrari.
and Ferrari.
That's
Because they have
gotcha.
Ferrari engines, they have a partnership. So it's a lot of drivers that will be in whatever it was at the time will then go on to be in Ferrari.
Gotcha.
They originally didn't grant Kimi his super license.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, they weren't going to. And then,
Was it because of his age?
yes.
Gotcha.
And just like they thought that he was inexperienced. He had only won like 23 races or something like that with
Gotcha.
like whatever other leagues he was doing. The Sauber team sort of like told them that like they would watch his performance and like we'll see how he does, whatever.
Monitor.
And so they granted it to him because of that. They're very just like, I don't know, if a team is like please though, then they're like, okay, I guess. So it went from Alfa Romeo to Sauber, and then it was renamed Alfa Romeo again in 2019.
Mm-hmm.
Because it was still Sauber, technically, but Alfa Romeo took over the title sponsorship.
Gotcha.
So it was just renamed. And then they left at the end of 2023 because Sauber signed a deal with Audi.
Mm-hmm.
And so then Audi in 2026 is going to be what Kick Sauber is now called. So
It's changing again.
yes.
Oh, awesome.
So it was Alfa Romeo, and then Sauber, and then Alfa Romeo again, and then it changed to Kick Sauber because Alfa Romeo pulled out. And now in 2026, it'll be renamed Audi.
Gotcha. Does when I saw the pictures of the drivers, is the name Stake at all in the name? Because I know they have the huge name across their chest, the huge advertisement for the gambling website Stake.
Oh, yes. Of course you looked into the gambling
No, I recognized it. I haven't used the website myself, but when I saw the uniforms they're wearing, I'm like, oh, Stake, I know what that is.
That's funny, because I had to look it up, because I had no idea what that was. Yeah, so Stake is a gambling company, and so they do have that as their name. That was supposed to be what they were called.
Just Stake, or like Stake Sauber?
Stake Kick Sauber, but people would call them Stake. But that was very quickly kind of scrapped because certain countries don't allow gambling, so they can't use that as their like title sponsor name. So that was a whole issue at the beginning of this year.
Do they use it in like the U.S. and countries where gambling's allowed, or they just
not really
call it Kick Sauber?
They just call it Kick Sauber for like consistency.
That makes sense.
They definitely could, but I think that would just confuse people. It's already confusing enough.
It's been changing so much.
Yeah. So who is driving for them right now is Valtteri Bottas and Zhou Guanyu.
Yeah, I saw them when you sent me.
So, also just a little fun fact, because I just remembered it. Kimi Räikkönen's nickname is the Iceman.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it's great. His personality is so funny. He doesn't say much. He really doesn't talk that much, except for he says "bois" a lot.
Bois?
Bois.
Like BWAH?
Yes.
That's awesome.
Yeah. One time he crashed in, I think, Monaco, and instead of like going back to the pits or whatever, he just like got on his friend's
There is Kimi Räikkönen. He's not even gone back to the paddock.
He's so great.
I mean, at that point, yeah.
Yeah.
Just enjoy your time in Monaco instead of...
I mean, yeah, mid-race, like the race is still going on, but sure, just leave. I mean, I would do that too.
Yeah.
That's great. Yeah, so, okay. Valtteri Bottas.
I actually remember saying to myself, I'm the best in the world. Like, I had that much confidence, like, straight away. Like, I can do this.
He used to be a reserve driver for Williams, and then he joined Williams in 2013, and then he was with them until 2016. And then once Nico Rosberg retired from Mercedes, Valtteri Bottas took over for him. And he was with Mercedes from 2017 till 2021. He won 5 Constructors' Championships alongside Lewis Hamilton.
Constructors' Championships?
There's Drivers' Championships and there's Constructors' Championships.
That's the people who make the engine, make the car, correct?
Yep.
Gotcha.
Yeah, so like Mercedes won, so it was like him and Hamilton
together. It wouldn't really be much the driver winning a Constructors' Championship, right?
Correct. Well, it's the 2 drivers are winning,
gotcha.
Because they are working together to get points for the Constructors' Championship.
Gotcha.
Yeah. And then he moved to Alfa Romeo in 2022.
Gotcha.
Now Kick Sauber. And he was very consistent alongside Hamilton. He had a good career. And it's sort of a situation where like Hamilton was so good that Valtteri Bottas kind of became irrelevant. But I thought he was a very good number 2 driver, which is not something that they ever want to hear, but it's the truth. And now he's just sort of not doing much.
Would he be the number 2 driver for Kick Sauber, or would he be the number 1 right now?
I would say he's the number 2.
Gotcha.
Which is upsetting because I like him a lot, and he's good. He just, I don't know. He's getting older.
He's been going for a while.
Yeah, he's been going for a while. He's getting older. He's just not. He needs to, like, I don't know, get some more
pep in his step kind of thing.
Yeah. He just is sort of mellow and, and there. And I think he needs a little bit more energy. And then there's also Zhou Guanyu.
As much as I, dream to be racing at the Shanghai circuit, I think also for them to see me, that's going to be a very unique, special moment.
He's the first Chinese F1 driver.
How old is he? He looked a lot younger in the pictures.
He's pretty young. 24. if I were to
Okay.
guess.
So not like super young, but yeah.
Yeah, I'd have to look that up. 25.
Okay.
So I was pretty close.
Yeah, 1 year off.
Yeah. What were you doing?
I assumed you weren't going to use that part, so I hit the whoa.
He joined in 2021. He drove for Alpine. And then in 2022, he went to Alfa Romeo.
Gotcha.
In 2022 at Silverstone is where he had this like huge crash. I've showed it before, so I'm not really going to talk about it.
Sure.
But he had like a huge crash, and he was out pretty much the rest of the season, I think.
How injured do the drivers get in the crashes versus like the cars?
It depends on the severity of the crash.
Mm-hmm.
Because if you've like they hit the wall just like a little bit, the drivers are typically fine, maybe a little sore,
Mm-hmm.
but like the cars could be like the front wing will probably be destroyed.
Gotcha.
But then you have situations where like the cars are pretty messed up, but somewhat still intact, and the drivers are like in a coma.
Jeez, that's rough.
Yeah, Zhou Guanyu had that huge crash, and he's been like to get back into the car after that and continue. Like he was doing iffy at first after that, but I think he's been doing a lot better since then, and that's just kind of crazy. I don't know.
Really bounced back.
Yeah.
Okay.
But also, Kick Sauber is not very good, so like he hasn't been doing great. But like for what he's given for this shitty car that he's given, I think he's doing well personally. Mm-hmm. However, it's a shitty car. Yeah. So he can only do so well. Mm-hmm. Yes. What does the future hold?
That's a great question.
Well, Kick Sauber hasn't been doing well. They're last in the Constructors' Championship at the current moment. And Audi is taking over soon. Mm-hmm. Hopefully that will turn around how they're doing. Mm-hmm. But I don't know how much Audi can bring. Like I haven't seen them in F1 ever. So I'm curious to see what they'll have to offer and how it'll be reshaped. They also have signed Nico Hülkenberg for 2025. And I'm curious to see how he'll do, because Nico's been around in F1 for a very long time. Like, he's just been there. Mm. He hasn't done anything super notable, but he's been around. So he has pretty good experience. And I'm interested to see how he'll do there. And I'm interested to see who else they'll sign. There's a lot of talk about them signing Carlos Sainz, but I don't know if that'll happen.
Do you think that Audi coming in is going to kind of like cut the ties with Ferrari? Like they're going to stop using the Ferrari engines if they're fully Audi?
Yes, I think so.
So you think they're going to just completely be their own thing at this point?
I do think so, yes. Yeah, I don't know why. Like, I can't imagine they would use Ferrari engines if Audi's there, because Audi makes engines.
Car brand, yeah.
Yeah. So, yeah, I do think they're just fully going Audi. So we'll see.
Yeah, we'll see.
I don't know. We'll see how they do. I'm really interested. I want them to do well. Mm-hmm. I don't know. I just am like, new team, new energy. I don't like the whole Kick Sauber thing going on. Mm-hmm. So I'll be interested to see what happens.
Gotcha. Can I hit you with one of mine?
Yep.
All right. So you're familiar, obviously, with some of the acronyms for like disqualifying, did not finish, did not qualify.
Yep.
Do you know how many of those you can get together or not?
What do you mean?
Like do you know if you can get like a did not finish and a did not qualify, or a disqualified and a did not finish in this like more than one in the same race or the same like weekend?
Well, yes. Because you can.
Yes, you can get disqualified. That makes you did not finish, kind of thing.
Yeah.
You ever heard of a racer who had all three? Did not qualify, did not finish, and disqualified.
That seems.
It'd be pretty hard to get a did not qualify and a did not finish at the same time, because that means you wouldn't be in the race if you didn't qualify, right?
Yeah, but I guess if you don't qualify, then you also don't finish.
No, but listen to this. So, Hans Heyer Snug. Oh, that's not his name. Hans Heyer. That's not his last name. Snug was also capitalized. Hans Heyer, he snuck onto the grid at the 1977 German Grand Prix that he wasn't even qualified in. And he wasn't noticed on the track until the 10th lap when his gearbox broke down which makes him the first ever person to get a did not qualify, a did not finish, and a disqualified all in one race. Because he snuck onto the track during the race.
Why? What did he think would happen?
I'm not sure, but he got 10 laps in.
If he didn't qualify, what did he think would happen? They'd just be like, oh, we can't, he's there.
Oh, he's doing a good job apparently.
Like, what?
No, but he was an extra racer on the track for 10 laps back in 1977.
That's hilarious. I didn't know
thought
that.
it was really funny. And another little ditty I got here
Okay.
is that Damon Hill, you know who he is?
Yeah.
The 1996 champion for Williams. He used to put cold tea in his water bottle when racing in F1
Oh.
because during the race, it would get so hot, like the cockpit, whatever it's called, a little bit
Yeah.
for the driver's seat, that at the end of the race, he'd be able to drink the hot tea because he would have the cold tea sitting in the water bottle and it would basically like stew and brew itself while in the car with him.
Oh. That's insane,
Mhm.
actually.
It said he would have been like fed hot tea at the end of each race.
What the heck?
I know, man.
Okay, but wouldn't you want water when you're, like, racing?
What if he's like super British and like they like tea like that? I mean, I would choose water easily over tea, but I figured at the end of the race you might want some tea. I don't know.
I don't know. I feel like you need, like, hydration.
Well, it is hydration, but it's like warm and hot. It wouldn't be for me. I'm not saying.
If you're racing and like you just lost you lost literally pounds of
'cause you've been
fluid.
sweating for so long.
Yeah,
First
you don't.
thing you want
I
is
wouldn't
hot
want a
cup of
hot
tea.
tea. What the fuck?
Whatever floats his boat, man.
I guess. I mean, he's an interesting guy.
Mm-hmm.
I like him a lot, but
And he won the championship.
Yeah, he did.
Also,
interesting.
I've mentioned it to you before, but the fact that they have some creative liberties they can take with all their cars, correct? People like change their own things and then borrow from each other's teams to see what works or doesn't work.
Yeah.
The fact they have to have one piece of wood at the bottom of each car
Oh
is
yeah.
so funny. And it's just sort of like regulation so you can't have your car too close to the ground because it says after you finished racing, they check the wood in the car, and if it's been sanded down by like a millimeter or something, you're disqualified.
Right.
So you can still like have whatever like futuristic carbon fiber, whatever like micro differences you can have in your car to make it a little bit more aerodynamic, a little bit faster, a little bit grippier on the ground.
Mm-hmm.
But you still have to have that one ancient piece of just wood on the bottom of your car.
I hope they keep that forever.
I think it'd be awesome.
Just because that's so funny. Like, imagine years from now, it's basically like a spaceship, and they just have this piece of wood on the bottom of the car.
Or like years from now, it's like so finely tuned, but then one person messes up and they sand down the wood board by like 2 millimeters and they're disqualified.
Yeah. That's crazy.
Mm-hmm.
So, I know one question you had asked me like a while ago is if they ever use the bathroom in the car.
Oh, yes, because I know like in the Tour de France, people just like pee themselves as they're doing it.
Yeah. And the answer is it's a thing that happens. It's not a very common thing because the engineers have to clean it up and people aren't assholes. But
That's fair.
It is a thing that happens.
I mean,
people will do that.
To be fair, the race isn't that long. You can hold it for a little bit.
Yeah.
You are getting like G's put on you though, and you're like sweating a lot. So I imagine it'd be difficult. But you can hold the bathroom for 2 hours, 3 hours.
There definitely are like racers that have done that.
Oh, for sure. Yeah.
Yeah, 100%.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know if there was like a question about that some interviewer asked once to all the drivers, and a lot of them said that they haven't. I don't know if I believe them or not.
I feel like they wouldn't say yes about it if they did.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I think Checo said he did.
So I also had a question. Do they ever get like snacks while they're racing? Like,
I don't think they get snacks in the car.
It's so boring.
I'm not confident in saying that, but like I don't.
Like you go into the pit stop, you get a little granola bar or something.
No, their pit stops are like 2.3
I know, you can
seconds.
just hire another person to put it in the window, so while you're like pulling out, you can have one hand on the wheel, one hand eating your granola bar.
No, that definitely does not happen.
They should.
I don't.
If I was an F1 driver, I'd want a snack in my pit stops.
Okay, and that's why you're not an F1 driver.
No, trust me, it'll happen. It'll happen.
Right. They have water.
I'd be the first Puerto Rican F1 driver, if there isn't.
Did you look that up?
What?
If you would be?
I don't know. I'd say if there hasn't been one before.
Oh.
I think that'd be pretty cool. I'd bring the Grand Prix to the island. The Puerto Rico Grand Prix. That'd be awesome.
I'm trying to think if there's been one.
And in a couple years, when I'm like winning in every race, you'd be like, I had him on my podcast. I had the best Puerto Rican F1. I had the best F1 driver of all time sitting next to me in my basement.
That would not be my reaction because I would be working with you.
Oh, you think you would, huh?
I know I would. Are you kidding me? If you're in F1, I'm working with you. Like, there's no question about it. I'll be your manager.
All right. You gonna give me snacks?
Sure. There has been.
There has?
Yeah.
I'll be the best Puerto Rican F1
Felix something.
Feliz Reyes. Okay, I'll be better than him. I'll be the second Puerto Rican F1 driver, and I'll be the best.
Okay.
Oh yeah, I really wanna know what the conversations are in the pit after the car leaves the pit. Because I imagine they're all like, okay, the car comes in, we all do our job, and then we're good. After the car leaves, we're like, yeah, we did a really good job in that pit, guys. They're all like high-fiving, or like after, like, it's basically the same when the football team like scores a touchdown, or like when you see Gunnar Henderson walking back from hitting a home run, they're all like, yeah.
I feel like, I mean, if it's a good pit stop, I bet they do that.
Some sort of little celebration.
Because, like, I was listening to a podcast once, and it was about people who used to, like, do pit stops and stuff like that, and they were like, well, when it's a good pit stop, like, like, everything is just, like, in sync.
That's awesome. Reminds you of the pit stop we watched at Le Mans, where the one goes, like, slamming
Yes,
the thing into
I
the
was
wheel
just thinking about
over
that.
and over and over again.
That was crazy. I've never seen anything like that.
That guy's getting fired for sure.
They've had some, I don't know, people have had some bad pit stops. A bad pit stop could literally ruin your race.
Yeah.
Which is insane.
It's not even like, it's most of the time it's not even the driver's fault. It'd be the
Yeah.
people on the pit stop.
Because most of the time it's like fully on the driver what's happening, you know, because they're just out there alone.
Just they're driving the car.
Yeah, exactly. But then if it's a pit stop, then it might not be your fault, and that's crazy. Or like strategies, like someone can mess up your strategy.
Have any F1 cars ever like hit animals?
Probably. There have been a weird amount of animals on track. There's been
I think I've heard like
a wombat
or something.
an iguana, a cat, probably a dog at some point, birds.
Mm-hmm.
There was just like a random wildfire once that
What was
happened
that?
this year. That was in Melbourne.
Gotcha. Oh yeah, Australia they've been having wildfires for a little bit.
Yeah, but it just like I guess I don't know, a car went by too fast and it just like lit on fire.
The car lit on fire, like
No, the
brush?
grass.
Oh wow.
I was like, what's happening? I noticed it before the announcers did.
That's
I was like, what's happening? What is that? And it was just fire.
Did they stop the race or they put the pace car in or something?
That was during practice, I think.
Okay.
So they just like stopped practice and put it out. Cars have lit on fire. It's definitely a thing.
Yeah, I'm not surprised. They got gas in them. They got
A lot of cars have lit on. There are some crazy like fire stories actually, because there's like.
How easy is it for the driver to get out of the car?
Well, they have to unbuckle and they have to take out the steering wheel and they have to like lift up out of the car. Not super easy. It's kind of a weird fit.
Well, I'm assuming it's like a super
But-
efficient fit for them to be like driving the best way possible.
Yeah. It's not often where they like have to get out
Mm-hmm.
super fast because once you crash, you crashed unless it's on fire, which
You're gonna
is
sit in the car.
rare.
You're probably pretty fine.
Yeah.
How do they get the cars from the different places?
You mean like different countries?
I mean, either they fly them or like boat them. They ship them.
They fly them.
The cars themselves, are they super heavy or no?
Yeah. I mean, they're probably lighter than a normal car because they're aerodynamic, but I think they're still, I mean, it's still a car.
Yeah, it's still a car.
Like, I don't think you would be able to lift
Four
it.
wheels. Yeah. I mean, I
Yeah.
can't.
Well, you think about one person does, like, the jack thing at the pit stop.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
So-
you're supposed to sit down like that. I think I could lift up and walk up and pick it up a little bit.
I think that's really bold of you to assume.
They should have like Hot Wheels loop-de-loops for the races, I think. It'd just make it so much more cool. They should do a Baltimore Grand Prix.
That would be horrible.
It'd be awesome.
It'd be
Racing
so
down
bad.
Broad Street, yeah, it'd be the best.
No.
You wouldn't want to see. You wouldn't go see that.
I would see it, of course, but
It'd
it
be
would
great.
be bad.
Why would it be bad?
Well, first of all, it would be a nightmare for the people of Baltimore, and they already have their own shit going on.
That's right. They always have something going on.
Yeah. And second of all, it's disgusting there. Like,
You figured, like, bring a couple $1 billion over, you can clean it up ahead before time of the race, right?
they wouldn't.
Ah, that's fair. Did they do how much like preparation did they do in Vegas?
A lot.
Yeah, they just do the same thing for Baltimore, right?
Okay, but Vegas is a cleaner city.
Really? Vegas is gross.
Yeah. No, it's not. Not downtown. Because it's a tourist place. So they keep it
I
clean.
don't think Vegas. Vegas is kind of gross.
I don't think so.
I'd say it's cleaner than Baltimore, though. I don't agree with you on that.
Yeah.
San Francisco is cool, except that you're gonna get like your car broken into each time.
You could say that for any city.
No, but San Francisco has the highest rates of it,
Oh.
and
Damn.
it's like real bad.
Okay, but like, doesn't Baltimore have the highest rates of murder?
I think it's Chicago, right?
Maybe.
I think it's probably either like Baltimore, Detroit, or Chicago or something.
Oh, it might be Detroit. That sounds right.
Detroit, I think it's like a terrible city. Is this any of this usable?
Yeah.
Oh, awesome.
Just conversation. I don't
That's
know.
fair, yeah.
I don't know why not. People want to hear about cities.
Yeah.
What's your favorite city?
Good question. Philly's pretty good,
Okay.
except the sports teams.
Where would you, like, genuinely, where would you want them to have a F1 race in the US?
East Coast?
Like, if they had another. Because they have one, they have
Orlando, no.
they have Miami,
Miami's
they have
dope.
Vegas, and they have
I
Austin.
don't care about Texas. Redwoods would be cool.
Where's that?
It's like Northern California.
Okay.
I mean, it'd probably be terrible for the environment, but it would be cool to be like racing
It's
around
gonna be terrible for the environment no matter where
Regardless.
they put it.
there. Great Lakes could be cool.
Yeah. First of
Grand
all,
Canyon.
I
That'd be kind
definitely
of boring though.
that'll be interesting. I definitely don't think that they should add another one.
Oh,
They
except
have
for
enough.
Baltimore.
They have enough. They don't need more. But if they were to add one, I would like it to be Chicago.
Oh, I wonder why.
Because I'd
You live there.
live there and I would
Yeah, you
I
enjoy
don't
it.
know. I would definitely like sneak in. They had in DC, they had like the Red Bull.
Car.
Yeah.
Yeah, I saw
I was
people I knew.
so mad that I wasn't home. I was so angry. And my mom was like, not flying you home. I was so sad.
Well, yeah, it's just the car sitting there. What would you do? Like throw like a milkshake on it or something?
I wanted to see it. I don't know. I wanted to go.
Most of the cities I want to go to, it's mostly because like, I want to try a certain food. And they're there, like I want to go
You
to
want to try the
Cincinnati.
Chicago hot dog?
I want to check out hot dog, the
Deep dish
Portillo's.
pizza?
I haven't had like authentic, but I've had deep dish. The Portillo's chocolate cake shake.
Yeah.
I want to go to Cincinnati because they got Skyline. It's just like spaghetti.
Deep dish pizza is shit.
I like it. Well, you don't live your life full of whimsy and wonder like I do. You dislike things. I like things.
Okay.
So there's
I said that the sunset was pretty the other day, and you said
it's not,
womanhood.
yeah, because I knew that you were gonna take a picture of her. Or someone like you were gonna take a picture.
Someone like you.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah.
Woman?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. White woman. Yeah.
Yeah.
Don't put that part.
Okay, I'm definitely putting that part. What do you think the F1 drivers' diets are like? They're probably crazy.
miserable.
Yeah. See, that and the exercise is why I could not be an F1 driver. Because I already am horrible with both. Like, I
You're
don't...
also not a very good driver.
I'm a fantastic driver, thank you. What the hell?
I'm sorry. Jeez. You drive faster than I do normally, though. It doesn't mean you're a good driver, though.
I'm a quick
That
driver.
means you drive faster.
That's
yeah.
what you need in F1. I'm efficient. I get where I'm going.
Whose car just died recently?
Okay. That wasn't my fault.
You don't know that?
I'm pretty sure it wasn't my fault.
Okay, never yet.
It's back.
I heard. What's your dream car to drive?
A Porsche 911 blue. She's a beaut.
No, so I mean, like the Jurassic Park Jeep would be cool. The DeLorean with the suicide doors, I think they're called. I think that's what they're called.
Why?
I don't know. The doors that like pop up, like what the Teslas have nowadays.
Yeah. Could you imagine if F1? Well, they don't have doors, but could you imagine if F1 cars have that?
You mind if F1 had like seat warmers?
Maybe they do.
They don't need it.
I was about to say I don't think they need that. Maybe seat coolers. They have the fans.
How much quality of life do they have inside of those cars?
How much what?
Like quality of life, like AC or like.
Oh, they definitely don't have AC.
They just like skim everything to get weight off and just make it a faster car.
Yeah. It's probably like hell sitting in there.
Mm-hmm.
That is my end goal one day, is to drive an F1 car. Now I think,
legally or just like hopefully hop on and hopefully no one knows?
I don't care. If it was less expensive, I would just like do karting competitively. But it's so much. You have to like buy a car, and then if it like breaks down, you get it repaired.
You should do like demolition derbies then at that point. Take Nigel.
Nigel would die pretty fast.
Yeah.
Okay. Well. Oh my god.
Orioles are playing today. They're playing the Houston Astros, and the Astros are not doing well, so hopefully we sweep them.
Oh. Well, I mean, we just beat the Yankees, so I think we're fine.
Fuck the Yankees.